Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the GTHL Breakout Podcast. I'm Stephanie, and I'm super excited to be joined by Ty Henry and Kashawn Aitcheson. Both rookie OHL players made the jump from the Greater Toronto Hockey League last season, and we're looking forward to chatting about their road to kind of where they are today. So thanks so much for joining us, guys.
No problem.
Yeah, no worries.
So you're both defensemen. And one thing that really stuck out to me leading up to this chat with both of you is, Ty, you made your OHL debut on November 26th in Barrie with the Erie Otters. So you actually debuted against Kashawn. Not sure either of you that stuck out for either of you.
I had a little chat with him before the game and stuff, so it was nice.
Was it encouragement or more of like a chirping kind of vibe?
Kind of both. It was kind of encouraging, and we did get into each other's ears a little bit. But yeah, it was cool to be playing against one of my friends, so I was looking forward to that.
So let's talk about a little bit of history between the both of you. You obviously played against each other. Ty, you were a Toronto Red Wing in 21-22. And Kashawn, you were a North York Ranger. So what's the history been like going against each other? And obviously there's a friendship there too. So Kashawn, we'll give that question to you.
I always kind of recognize them as a good player, and especially because we were friends, I would definitely try and battle a little harder against him and let him know I'm there. But yeah, it was really fun just going against him all year long, pretty much. Like they were one of the teams we played the most too, so I got a lot of games against him.
Ty, would you call it a rivalry?
Yeah, I think so. We started getting close this past summer because we met during this hockey equality summit. So we got very close during the summer, and we were training with each other during the summer. We played against each other a lot this year, and as he said, yes, it was a little bit of a rivalry, and we competed a lot against each other and just talk a lot of trash to each other too. So it was pretty fun.
So obviously making the leap from minor hockey to the Ontario Hockey League and the junior level, it is a big leap. And how has it been having, I know you're both on different teams, but how has it been having friends going through the same thing, experiencing it together that you can kind of lean on each other? Kashawn, do you want to take a stab at that one?
Yeah, it's been unreal. They can just relate to you. Like anytime you're going through a tough time, especially as a rookie, there's a lot of ups and downs. I know I would always have Ty to talk to me and encourage me and keep me in a upbeat spirits, which is nice to know that you have at the back of your arsenal, I guess, like just always to keep you going. And yeah, it's been a big jump, like just speed, strength, age, just kind of knowing your role and how to fit in.
And Ty, obviously you mentioned you got a little bit closer over this past summer through the Hockey Equality Summit and activities and all that. How appreciative are you to have that resource to build those connections like Kashawn?
Oh, it's really good because there's actually a couple of us that were in that summit that jumped up to the next level as well, like Malcolm Spence and some others. So it's good. It's not just Kashawn. We have a couple other players, and we also have Anthony Stewart and his wife Shante Eastman, who run the organization. So they're really good to lean on. And Anthony, he's been through all the experiences that we've been through. He's been to the highest level, so he knows it best. So it's good to reach out to him too. But I feel like it's better to reach out to your peers that are in the league with you and young as well, because they're kind of going through it at the same time as you. So it's good to just have a little chat with them and see like what they're going through and just try and compare it to your personal experience as well.
Well, how has the jump been for you so far, Ty? Has it been what you expected? Has anything surprised you?
It's been a pretty rough jump. It's a way more different than the minor leagues, minor hockey. Just everybody's just way stronger, way faster. Their IQ is just at another level. So at first it was pretty hard, but the more you go into it, like the more experience you get and the more you get to adapt to it and get used to it. So, but yeah, it's going well so far. But at the beginning, it was a little rough, but it's getting better and better as it goes on.
Definitely a transition year that can present its challenges. And Kashawn, has there been anyone, with the Colts helping you along and adjusting to this new level?
Yeah, like for my sake, I've obviously been very fortunate. Brant Clark getting sent back down. Just learning from him and how good of a hockey player he does, how he presents himself in all areas of what he does, and he's been mentoring me and helping me, kind of teach me the ropes around.
That's definitely a good mentor to have around the locker room, I'd say.
Yeah, sure.
Well, let's look back before we continue down the junior path. Let's look back at minor hockey for a bit. Is there one memory that stands out to you when you think of minor hockey that maybe you'll always remember? Ty, you can answer that one first.
I think one memory that I would always miss is probably going to play tournaments away from home with your team and just staying in a hotel. And I feel like that's one thing that I'm gonna miss from minor hockey is just the bonding with your teammates in a hotel, just playing around the hallways and stuff. And I think that's the biggest thing I'll miss, I think.
What about you, Kashawn?
Yeah, just going off of what Ty said, yeah, just causing havoc in the hotel rooms and playing mini sticks in the hallway, just all with your buddies and creating that bond that most likely won't be broken. And more specifically of last year, just getting the honor to play in the top prospects game was a really cool experience. And yeah, those are probably my fondest moments.
Those are definitely memories that will stick with you moving forward. Before you got to that point, obviously you were both introduced to the game, introduced to sport. So who do you credit for getting you into the game? Ty, do you want to take that one?
Yeah. Well, I always grew up close to my mom's side of the family, and they were the biggest hockey fans. So my grandpa and my uncle were the biggest hockey fans, so they kind of brought me into the game. My dad was kind of shocked because my dad was a football player and my mom was a track runner, so they were kind of shocked that I chose hockey out of everything. But so yeah, I took it from my grandpa and my uncle. But yeah, it's been a journey ever since.
Did you ever play football?
No, I never really wanted to try when I was younger, but I'm kind of regretting it now because I'm starting to get into it more now.
So who were you rooting for in the Super Bowl? We just passed Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, my team won. That's the team I've been cheering for since day one, though. So.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Kashawn? We'll jump back to that question about who was your Super Bowl pick.
I had the Eagles.
Good pick. That's all right. But sorry, we'll jump back. Who got you into playing hockey?
I was close with my mom's side, like my grandpa and my uncle. And my uncle was really young. When I was younger, I got to watch him play AAA and play junior hockey. So I was kind of his biggest fan, and I would go to all of his games. So that was a big thing that got me into hockey, and just admiring him and seeing him on the ice.
Following in the footsteps, absolutely. And so we fast forward 15, 16 years. What would you say your biggest challenge has been on the road to where you are today? And Kashawn, we'll let you answer that one first.
Biggest challenge. I think mental toughness is a big thing because, along hockey, there's so many ups and downs, and not always being like a high-end guy, you kind of just have to put your head down and work. So I think that was a big thing and a big, I guess, overcome.
And what about you, Ty? What's been your biggest challenge so far?
I think when I was younger, I was always like overlooked as a player, and I wasn't always the high-end guy, like Kashawn said. So yeah, and I had a lot of like mental issues when I was younger. Like I didn't have the greatest confidence. So it wasn't always there. So I overcame that, and like now I have a lot of confidence. But that's like the toughest thing that I went through is like when I was younger, I had no confidence at all, and to the point where I felt like quitting almost. So.
And who would you say, is there someone or a couple people, or they always say there's a village? Are there people that stick out to you in helping you overcome that and get to that point?
Yeah, my dad really, because my dad's a football player, so he's tough. He's tough on me, right? So my dad will always be there in my corner, just telling me like, just toughen up, get stronger. So he's always in my corner, he's always there to support me. But yeah, so I give credit to my dad for that.
And what about you, Kashawn? Was there someone or a group of people that you credit to helping you overcome those obstacles?
Yeah, I would say the same as Ty. My dad, he was a basketball player, so he was always like flashy and so confident. A lot of people would say cocky. So I think that kind of oozed off of him a little bit into me and kind of gave me the confidence I have today.
Well, so we had Ty, who originated track, football, went into hockey, didn't try football. Did you try basketball?
No, I didn't, but I tried football when I was younger.
And just didn't stick? Wasn't for it?
No, did not like it.
Any other sports that you guys may have tried down the road?
Yeah,
Just
I'll go ahead, Kashawn.
no, you got it.
Okay, in high school actually, I started high school in cause I'm from Quebec, so I started high school in grade 7. So I played for basketball for my high school team there. I was the shortest guy on my team, so I kind of sucked, but I had a growth spurt since then. So
there you go. You got the height. It's all good. What about you, Kashawn?
The only other sport I tried was just lacrosse, and again for a year, just because trying to focus on hockey.
Well, how did you find lacrosse? A lot of hockey players tend to go to lacrosse in the summer.
Yeah, it was super fun. I loved it. It was just so much like traveling. Like every weekend there was a tournament, so I was just like, oh, like I don't want to go to Huntsville every weekend or something like that. So kind of just stuck in the rink all summer.
And yeah, get back on the ice, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
So now that well, we'll ask first. You've talked about who you would thank to get to this point and the people who've helped you overcome obstacles, but on the ice, who were your favorite players? Favorite players stick out? Ty?
For me, when I was super young, EP2 was always the guy I looked up to. Everybody used to think that I skated like him.
I mean, that's a compliment.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. That was always the guy I looked up to. But now, as I'm getting older, I like watching Seth Jones. I like the way he plays the offensive style that he plays. So I try and model my game after him.
What about you, Kashawn?
When I was really young, I always looked up to Sidney Crosby. I would always have like puzzles of them and be doing them all day. But now that I'm getting older, yeah, I would say what Ty said, someone like Seth Jones or maybe even like Adam Fox from Rio Heiskanen. Just they play such a good two-way offensive and defensively reliable game.
Not at all bad picks to model your games after, for sure. And now you're both becoming role models yourselves. You're making those next steps. You're working towards those junior careers. Is there a message that you would hope that you could at some point give younger players today? And Kashawn, you can take that one first.
I think a message is just have fun. Like, you got to remember it's a kid's game. And, if you're not having fun doing it, like it's not gonna, I don't think you'll do as good. And while you're having fun, just work harder than anyone else in the room or in the rink or wherever. There's always someone trying to take your spot.
And what about you, Ty?
As a kid who loved to smile, I love to smile, and I was always a very happy kid. And there's a lot of people that tried to get in my head and take that happiness away from me. So for a message for these young kids is to don't let the haters try and take the love of the game away from you, because hockey is a very mentally and physically draining sport, and if you don't have the love for it, it's gonna be even harder. So
it's a good message.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, February is Black History Month. Is there any message that you would hope to pass along to younger Black players maybe getting into the game?
So I think as a young Black player, it's always good to have a good role model and mentorship ahead of you. So when I was younger, as I said, I used to look up to PK Subban. And so yeah, I used to model my game after him and all. And now I'm surrounded by a good mentorship, which is Anthony Stewart and the Hockey Equality organization. So I'm happy to have them in my corner now. So they know what I went through. So it's good to just always get to have a mentorship or someone there to guide you who's been through what you're going through and stuff. So
absolutely. And Kashawn?
Yeah. I think stay true to yourself. Like I feel like Black people have a different side of sort of culture to them and swagger, I guess. And I think when you play the game of hockey, sometimes that can be trying to take it away, just based because you're a minority in the game. So I think stay true to yourself and look up to players that like Seth Jones, PK Subban, because they look like you, talk like you, and I think if you listen to them, they could really help you out.
All both great messages. And as we move forward and hopefully we're seeing more and more change in the game, do you guys think that the game has become more inclusive? Kashawn?
Yeah.
Or Ty? Whichever.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's getting better now because of the fact that we're talking about it. So a lot of I'm looking now at the new generation. There's a lot more young black hockey players that are starting to play the game that I did not see when I was younger. So it is improving as I see now. So.
And what about you, Kashawn? Any thoughts?
Yeah, same thing. Like, I had a guy in my corner, Ring Carnegie, tell me about a lot of stories that he had to go through and playing junior hockey and drafted in the first round, and getting, obviously, maybe not getting treated the best way or getting the opportunity some other people weren't given. And he's told me how good I've had it in that way, sort of sense. And I'm looking also to kids younger than me, like Ty said, and the game's just spreading, and hockey equality and the program that they have going in the NHL, I feel like are making massive improvements and spreading the game around the world and getting kids involved.
Is there something that either of you would hope to see more of as the change continues to happen?
As Kashawn said not too long ago, just I think that a lot of black people try to change their culture to try and fit in more. I feel like it'd be nice if they still get to keep a little bit of their culture and just act like themselves around everybody and just try and get the world to see that it's not just one culture and you could just be just a bunch of different cultures and a bunch of different of everything. So, just stuff like that, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah, pretty much going off of what Ty said there, just like not having a strict way to do things, a strict way to act. Obviously, you have to still present yourself with respect and very mannered, but also having your own, I guess, like flair to whatever you want to do, like being able to be yourself and and saying what you want to say.
Well, I would have to say you're both bringing that here on the podcast. I mean, you're both laughing, smiling, joking with each other, but presenting yourselves great. You're doing great. So I think you're living by your message, and it's really great to see that. And as we move forward, I mean, it's February. It's the season. Hockey season typically rolls into the playoffs, and things are kind of getting heated in the last stretches here. What are you both most excited for? Not only for this season, but in the seasons to come. Anyone can take that one first.
Okay, so I'm looking forward to training this summer. After all the things I have learned this past year, I think that it's gonna help me to just train this summer with those experiences that I've gained and just keep working at it. And I've seen all the top players now. I see what they do and just how good they are, and I'm gonna try to use some of the stuff that they use in their game and implement it in mine, and just like by just training and just working on it during the summer.
For me, I'm very excited to see, because Barrie's a very good team this year. I'm very excited to see where we go and how deep of a run we get, and for seasons to come. I'm just excited to see what I can do and how far I can really take it, and what Ty was saying, get the feedback from your coaches, always ask questions, and then in the summer specify in those areas where they told you to get better at, and just work as hard as you can, and I guess the results will come.
And maybe a couple more matchups against each other with some chirps maybe going back and forth.
Yeah, of course.
Well, guys, we really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. We're proud to have you both as GTHL alumni, and we're looking forward to see what comes both of your ways in your career as you move forward. So thank you so much. We're really glad to have you on.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be on this podcast. So.
Oh, thank you. And for everyone tuning in, we'll be back with many more stories just like Ty's and Kashawn's on the GTHL Breakout Podcast.